of these courses and interventions can be put in. So what is the innovation? The innovation is that the Society of Family Physicians of Ghana, in collaboration with Global Ultrasound Institute and Ghana Health Service, will provide POCUS devices and training to 32 midwives in selected districts in Ghana. And we chose the Savannah and the Western regions of Ghana. How does this project work? It works that these devices will be provided to the midwife alongside everything, all the logistics needed to be able to do the scans, i.e. the iPad, the power bank, data, everything to be able to do. To also build their capacity to train them on how to use POCUS to scan and pick up high-risk pregnancies. And then also to do a continuous monitoring of their progress over the remaining 7 months period after the equipment has been supplied to them. What does this add to them? It's hoped that there will be improved primary care in obstetrics in these selected districts so that they can quickly make decisions as to whether they are referring or they are going to intensify their management immediately. So who make up the team? As you can see, for Society of Family Physicians of Ghana, we have the national team headed by the project lead, Dr. Nketia. I'm the project manager. Mr. Kuma is an accountant, and then Ms. Kote is the administrative manager. And it goes down to the district coordinators, like Dr. Nketia said. For West, all the districts have district coordinating them, and among them include Dr. Sefin Pong, Dr. Bobe, Dr. Vitalis, Dr. Deriba, and then Dr. Louis. Then for our partnership with the Global Ultrasound Institute, they have their the team headed by Dr. Kevin Bergman and his team, who picked Ghanaian doctors to train them, for them to be instructors in the project. So we selected 2 family physicians, Dr. Sida and Dr. Sefimpong, to learn and be instructors, alongside one radiologist, Dr. Bonsu, and then also a medical officer, Dr. Foko, who has special interest in family medicine and want to do. The selected districts in Western region include Impoho, Wasam, Marifi, Ahanta West, and Ekman. And for the Savannah region, we have West Gonja, Central Gonja, East Gonja, and then Sola, Tuna, Kalba. And some of these areas are like 16 hours drive in and out from the regional capitals. So the key objectives really is to improve their knowledge and skills in POCUS use among midwives in these selected districts, and then also to improve the proportion of high-risk cases that they will report, and then to increase the utilization of the technology. It is different giving somebody the equipment and training them, but we hope to monitor and make sure that they actually use it for its purpose. Most of our deadlines for the implementation, also training, doing the in-person training, they have all been done, and we are within targets. These are some photos I brought to improve the storytelling on the project. The project first had a national launch in Accra. Then subsequently, there were regional launch in the 2 chosen regions. This was during the Western region regional launch, as on the, forgive me. Yes, so on the left is during the Western regional launch. And we had to go to each facility to have some stakeholder meetings with them to be sure that they are feasible and they are able to task that will be given them. So some of them, as you can see, for some of the districts, we even reached there in the night. You see our able president in the middle at Ambenfi Central there. And these are the people that help us to implement the program. This was in the Savannah region, where we went to individual places, facilities, to also engage the midwives for them to know about the program and tell them about it. So this pictures depicted the in-person training we had in the Western region. That's Dr. Laura. the head of the team from GASI, teaching and instructing. During this program, the midwives had the opportunity to have lectures. They had hands-on practical session with model pregnant women that came to the facility, and also went to the facilities around to also do some scanning. Afterwards, they had an OSCE exam. So this is an instructor teaching the midwives on how to use the POCOS to scan the pregnant uterus. Another midwife, very happy, showing how she's able to get the BPD from the POCOS device that she has. This was during the OSCE exam. Like family medicine, everything has to go anywhere. You cannot finish without an exam to make sure that you have carefully understood everything that was told. So they had an OSCE exam after the training, and all of them excelled. So I'll skip this slide, but over the past 2 months of implementation, we've already seen some wonderful results that I would like to share. They were requested to scan at least 10 patients in the month. As you can see from the orange line, most of them are scanning more than even what they are supposed to. They are excited about it. The patients then need the service, and they're actually doing very well. In month 2, you actually see it going further up, the graph going further up, showing how happy and how they are implementing and using the devices that has been supplied to them. This last graph really is to show you the number of high-risk pregnancies they have picked. It's a little faint, but as some of the midwives have been able to pick as much as 80% high-risk cases out of the total scans they have done. And it's very impressive, because these women would not have had that service. They would have been missed, and they would have had increased maternal mortality. So going forward, what are some of the outstanding things? We had a 2-day online top-up training, which had been done. We have to do a midpoint monitoring visit, going back to all these districts to see how they are doing. And then we also hope to do a final evaluation in September to October about the whole project. So the key lesson and support, first of all, I want to say, like our president said, SOFPOC is capable of running a grant program. So please feel free to write your research proposal to get those grants so that we can do more. They are excited about it, and they are already happy about the results that we are getting. And then it's also important that as you plan any program or project, you allow some flexibility, because some things may interact. For instance, during December, the elections move our in-person training program to January. So those are some of the key lessons we have learned and the support that we have had. So to save time, we'd like to thank you very much for all support. This is actually the whole team's doing, including you as a member of SOFPOC, because without you, we won't get the recognition the organization needs to get this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, incoming president. As we went round, as Dr. Dowa comes in, some of the nurses, as they were talking about what they are doing, some of them were in tears, because they have saved lives from what they are doing. And some of them have increased the antenatal by more than 100%, because they know that they have some equipment there that they can use just to let them know that the baby is in there moving their legs and your baby is still alive. There's one story that is saying an IUD where, over 1 week, if it had not been picked, when it went to the regional store, they said specifically that if the lady had stayed just 2 days, would have lost her life. These are real things. And I think that we can do more. We are capable. And I want to still throw that challenge to all of us. Let's write. Let's write. Let's write. Let's write. When we were coming to Tamale, I saw a team that were working on a particular grant. When they told me about it, I said, this is ours. It's clearly ours. It's primary care. Now, most of the grants are actually for primary care, because everybody have realized that if the primary care is not sorted out, we are wasting our time. But we are waiting, and people who are at the tertiary levels are getting the grant for the primary care, and they are more confused. But if we take it, we do it well, because what we are doing is there. You can talk to Dr. Vitalis. I wish Osefupon was here. The way ours is going, it shows that the terrain is ours. When people are struggling, before they realize we've maneuvered through and sorted things out, because it is our terrain. I want to recommend and encourage all of us. Let's push on some of these things, because if the primary care will be improved, it is us. We are the leaders there. Let's put for grants to improve it. Our second presentation by my very good friend Dora. As I said last year, we did SWOT analysis of collaborative research among physicians in Ghana. And indeed, we published it. Now, I'm even hoping that what we've done today, we can look at it and actually write and publish it. We didn't struggle to publish it because it was a good thing, work that we all did together. And we think that it's good that we present it to you, because it is your work, it is our work that we worked on and published. So Dr. Dora Eblongbe will be doing the presentation on that. SWOT analysis of collaborative research among physicians in Ghana.
Hello and good afternoon. This is very weak. Hello and good afternoon. How do you say good afternoon in Dagbani? Antre. Okay. And I'd like us to give ourselves a round of applause, because this work is ours. So, I'm presenting on the SWOT analysis of collaborative research among family physicians in Ghana, a workshop report, and I'm presenting it on behalf of the authors. And SoftBog generated this data, so well done to everybody. And special thanks to Engman for leading the summaries. So one of our members is on the board of editors, but didn't have any role to play in this work. Beyond that, we have no competing interests and no funding support was provided. So the outline will go like this: an introduction, methods, findings, recommendations, and conclusion. So as we are well aware, we need data, and good quality data at the primary care level, to be able to get good outcomes for our patients in every condition that we manage. And we cannot underestimate the importance of collaborations, and collaborations between us as physicians, as physicians and other healthcare providers, researchers, academic institutions, etc. And so this was an important workshop to help us to know what our strengths are as family physicians, what the opportunities are, what the threats and weaknesses are in terms of collaborative research. How did we go about this? So at the last AGSM in Koforidua, precisely on the 17th of May, we had a workshop, and our aim, as you can see, was to explore the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to collaborative research among family physicians, and to generate recommendations so that we can enhance collaborative research amongst each other. How did we do this? So an initial presentation was done on collaborative research, and then, just like we did today, we split into groups, one group each. So there were 4 groups. One group talked about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and the other group talked about threats. And each group had a facilitator, a rapporteur, and a senior faculty member, as well as members of SoftBog. And these are the findings. So 85 of us participated, and the good thing was most of us were from different backgrounds. So some were researchers from academic institutions, some were in tertiary institutions, somewhere at the district levels. And so that was a fine blend. And there were 5 major teaching hospitals that were represented, as you know them: Konfanochi, Kolebu, Cape Coast, Ho Teaching Hospital, as well as some public and private institutions. What were the findings? So these were the strengths: that there's a diverse array of family physicians who have varying degrees of knowledge. So some people are very great clinicians, some people are really at the pinnacle of research. And so there's a diverse, wide range of knowledge that we can glean from. And because we are the generators of data, we sit right at the center as gatekeepers, and we have access to primary data. We also have access to funds, and in this case, where the, how will I say, celebrated researchers exist, we realize that they are able to attract funding and do a lot of research in primary care. And then a wide range of research ideas to choose from. And I remember there was a time I read that in every consultation you get about 4 cases that you are not very confident about. So that's also something that generates interest that you can research on. What were the weaknesses that we found? Limited time for research, and then limited funding and inadequate knowledge as to the sources of funding. I think Baba has helped us with that, and Dr. Nkiti. I think they deserve a round of applause. And then, how about distance? We are all located at different parts of the country, and sometimes communication is a problem, and that hinders collaboration. How about knowledge of the research process? A number of us have had, feeble knees when it comes to research from the undergraduate level, and it carries through. So that is also a weakness. Lack of interest. So we have so many things to do. I mean, a lot of patients are calling you, a lot of interests, family responsibilities and all that. So there's a lack of interest, and there's some financial constraints. Also, there's inadequate research exposure. And why does that happen? A number of times it's just because there's no mentorship or little mentorship. And in the places where there's mentorship, you realize that the opportunities exist. Opportunities. So we have members in all areas: district level, the Ghana Health Service, CHAG institutions, and that helps us. So there's a vibrant academic and research environment. So there's so much knowledge to tap from. We also have the opportunity to collaborate between public and private institutions, between public and health-based institutions. And then we also have some members of SOPOG being in international, what will I say, being heads of international facilities, so safe care, and then people being within WONCA. So those are also opportunities for international collaboration. What are the threats? So we know the threats: the poor recognition of family physicians. Some people don't even know we exist. They call us family health, family medicine, family. We have all sorts of generic names. And then the stakeholders do not know about us. How about funding? So there's inadequate funding for family medicine research, and we are so sought after that everyone is taking our time. And so there's demanding clinical roles in especially one-man stations, and that hinders our ability to participate in research. So other competing interests like bureaucratic processes, if you've ever tried, sometimes just at the proposal level, your energy is cut off. And then funding from institutions is also a challenge. What are the recommendations? So we have them on an individual level and then on an organizational level. So what do we hope to achieve through this presentation and through the research work that we published? We want to involve all residents. So when you have a case presentation, do it well, research on it, and publish. Then we also want to encourage more mentorship. So those who are well versed in the research processes, please mentor the younger ones. And then where it is appropriate, we should allocate time for research and participation in research. And we should look for collaborations and grants so that we'll be able to support family medicine research. And then encourage career progression and mentorship in family medicine research and collaboration. So at the organizational level, and I'm happy the policymakers are in the house, we need to let the government realize, and recognize the role that family physicians play in community health and to support our research initiatives. There should also be collaboration between SOFPOG family members so that we can have a directory so we know where everyone is and we'll be able to do collaborative research. Because you generate so much data, we need you to list problems. What are the things that are, unresearched on? And let's be able to research on them. And then capacity building and training. So that should also be done. And academic institutions can lead this call. So how do we conclude? This has revealed that family physicians in Ghana possess diverse knowledge and strong community ties. But the challenges are there: inadequate research training, heavy clinical loads leading to lack of time. The opportunities for research collaborations exist through partnerships with local and international institutions. And this report underscores the need for, one, enhanced engagement and support in research initiatives to improve primary healthcare delivery, efforts at improving research training from medical school through to the postgraduate levels, and fostering of mentorship relationships, and establishing of a directory of family physicians across the country that could facilitate collaboration in research projects. So what do we intend that this whole thing will do? Ultimately, we hope to leverage on the unique position of every individual in family medicine to generate impactful research, and that will translate into better health outcomes for the patients and the population. And these are my acknowledgements. And this has been published by the African Journal of Primary Care and Primary Care and Family Medicine. Thank you very much. Mpaya. And these are my references. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dora. I hope Tridem is ready. Please, what I'm wearing is out there. I've been told that we are going to Molly Park. I heard the sun can be really scorchy. I've negotiated, right, for you. I'm not too sure whether I'm a good negotiator. If Inoni is here, it looks like Nino is a better negotiator than me. But he's bringing this down to 150 and the other one to 100. I'm not too sure. Please, those in Northern region, please, have I negotiated well or? He said 200 and bringing it to 150. But I'm sure he started high. So that's why I intentionally brought it here. Please, how much should we buy it? My good friends in the Northern region. Hello? Oh, please help me. Oh. Help me to help my people. Oh, Dr. Abba, please do something for me. Oh. Please call those people for me so that we'll know how much we are going to do this. But, I mean, if we agree, I'm going to tell him that this is how much we'll buy it. Then if you want to get one, you get it. But please, if you are buying it, you add 10 cities so that it can cater for mine. So let's invite and try them as they give us their presentation. Thank you.
So thank you, Doc. Thank you, everyone, for giving me this opportunity to present to you this afternoon. My name is Rodney Atobra. I'm a medical rep with a company called Tridem Pharma. And this afternoon, I'll be taking you through anti-malaria or malaria treatments briefly. So to introduce myself and my company to you, Trident Pharma is a subsidiary of Fosun Pharma, which is the parent company. And over the years, we have been the innovative lead in malaria treatment across the globe. For several years, our anti-malarials have been the one that they've been using in the malaria control program. So that tells you the quality of medications that we afford to patients. Now, as an innovative name in malaria treatment, let me just picture this scenario to you. Cast your mind back to your early days in practice, the first time you ever had a chance to come across a Tesnit, and you opened the pack, you realized that you saw 3 components in there: the drug powder, the sodium bicarbonate buffer, and the sodium chloride vehicle. The most common challenge that people face here, especially for the first time here, is how do I go about mixing this? Because you realize that, hey, which one do I add first? Which one do I add second? If you ever face that in your practice, you're not alone. People around the world are also experiencing the same thing. So we also picked up on this challenge, and we said, as an innovative name in malaria, how can we solve this challenge for people? So I'm proud and happy to introduce to you today AGSM, which is a new generation antihistamine injection that we've introduced on the market. And this, we seek to solve the problem that you and other colleagues faced when it comes to mixing artesunate for your patients. So now with AGSM, we are saying that we are making artesunate easier to prepare, faster to reconstitute, and safer to administer. By the time I'm done with my presentation, you will understand how we've been able to achieve all this. So the first thing is that you realize when you open the artesunate pack, as I said, you find 3 things in there. But with AGSM, what we've done is that we've been able to combine the bicarbonate buffer together with the vehicle into one ampoule. So instead of having 3 separate things in the pack, now we have just 2. And so it brings the step from a 2-step process to a single-step process. So now there's no more confusion when you open the AGSM pack, because it's just 2 things in there. You just draw from the liquid out to the drug powder, and you're good to go. Now, after taking away this challenge, the other challenge that we realize exists too is that, you know, with the conventional testing, that's the one with the 3 components pack, when you have to prepare for IV administration and prepare for IM administration, you require different preparations, different calculations, different everything. So sometimes in the hospital practice, you have a patient who urgently needs artesunate, and you prepare artesunate to give it to the patient, but you realize that for one reason or another, you may be facing challenges giving the drug via the IV route. So what do? Fortunately, you can give artesunate via the IM route. But in this case, since the preparations are different, you have to discard the first one, prepare a new one for IM administration. In this case, 2 things happen. You lose time, and then you create extra cost too for the patient. But then with AGSM, what we've been able to also do in this case is that we are making the same preparation available for both IV and IM administration. So now going back to that scenario where you need artesunate to urgently give to your patient, and you prepare for IV administration, but you're not able to give via the IV route, no worries. That same preparation, you can give it via the IM route for your patient safely without any problem to them. Then again, sometimes too, when you go to the wards, if you yourself are not the one mixing the artesunates, some of the nurses you see there, they'll be doing this. They'll be rubbing their palms together with the artesunate drug, or they'll be shaking it. What they are basically doing is they are trying to increase the rate of dissolution of the artesunate so that they can get the drug ready for administration. Now, if you have a patient, possibly your relative or your loved one, somebody you know, who urgently needs artesunate for administration to stabilize them from severe malaria, but the drug is taking as long as 10 to 15 minutes to be ready to give to them, that can be a cause for concern, right? With AGSM, what we've also been able to do in this case is that we've been able to shorten the process to the point that it takes just 1 minute for AGSM to be ready to be given to your patient. So here we are saving time for your patient as well. So by doing all these things, we've been able to make it easier to prepare, faster to reconstitute, and safer to administer. Then again, we also realize that most adults who are, in fact, all adults who are 60 kg and above, they will need more than 120 milligrams of artesunate for administration. So most of the time, what they do is that they will buy 120 plus 30 or 120 plus 60 before they can get the dose that they need. But with AGSM, what we've done is that we've also introduced a new strength to the market, which is 180 milligram. So the whole world, we are the only one with the 180 milligram strength. So now instead of buying and adding 120 plus 30 or 120 plus 60, just one vial, just one preparation, 180 milligram can do the job for you. Then I'll move on to this slide. Now this slide is from the WHO treatment guidelines for severe malaria. I'll highlight more on the last point, which is give a full course of oral ICT after completing parenteral anti-malaria. Now I realize that in the treatment of severe malaria, mostly after 24 hours when the patient is stabilized and they can take oral medication, you prefer to switch on to oral medication to continue your therapy. But in this case, I want us to think about something. When our patient is on admission and we are giving maybe an IV or infusion or parenteral antibiotic to the patient for in this case, let's say IV cefuroxime to a patient, and they are stable enough, you want to switch to an oral version to continue therapy, most likely you will switch to an oral version of the same antibiotic, right? Yes. Much in this case too, when you're giving IV artesunate or parenteral version back into the diartemisinin before it starts to work in your patient. In this case, I would like to introduce to you Diatep. So Diatep is the innovator brand of DHAP, or diartemisinin piperacin. And as I mentioned, it contains the active metabolites of all the artemisinin derivatives, be it artesunate, artemether, or arteta. Now, when you give Diatep to your patient, it has a fast your therapy for your patient. It also presents to your patient a very convenient dosing, which is a once daily dosing. You realize that now people sometimes forget to take multiple doses of a drug within the same day. Sometimes to people, they just don't have enough time. Sometimes to people prefer conveniency. So if they are given options between a drug or two drugs with equal efficacy, but one that they will take just once in a day, as against one they will take multiple times in a day, obviously we can determine which one that they will prefer. The one that they will take once a day, because that will be more convenient for them. And that is what Diatep is giving to your patients too. It's outcomes that we want from our patient. Then again, Diatep, also the molecules present in Diatep, that is diartemisinin piperacin. The piperacin in there has a long elimination half-life. And as such, that gives Diatep a very long prophylactic benefit. That is 3 months. So when you give Diatep to your patient, not only is it going to help treat the malaria that they have, but it's going to stay in the body for the next 3 months, protecting them against future malaria infections within that time period. So these are the benefits of both AGSM and Diatep that I wanted to highlight to you. And I think because my time is up, I would like to bring the representative to an end here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it says that they are the only people with the 120, 180. The 1A. Charlie, we've gone ahead. They are the only group with 180 in town. So whenever that they are writing and people don't want, those multiple increased costs, remember that AGSM is there. And he's saying that there's a lot of advantage with the Diatep. Once daily, and also it can stay in your system for a long time and protect you from reinfection, right? Yes. Okay, so thank you very much, Tridem, for the support that you give to us. Just two questions for the presenters. If the presenters are here, Dr. Eblogbe, Dr. Damoa, and Tridem. Just two questions. Please, the next presenters should be here by now. Pharmacist, Dr. Abba, Mega Live, and Astra. So you can give your presentations to him. But two questions for them. It's either the research grant things are complicated for us and we don't understand, or the presentation were very smooth for you. Any questions for them? Okay, so great. Looks like there's no question for them. But the presentations are there. It's good that you go through and know what your society is doing, some of the great work that have been done by the society. I want to go to the next group of presentation. So our first presentation by our LOC chair, Dr. Joshua Abba. He's doing a lot of great work here in the northern region, and he's going to present one of them. I've told him that we've been doing some work on breast cancer awareness. We've done talk there. We are trying to put that one together. Hopefully next year we need to put the three together. Both the northern sector, the middle sector, and the southern sector that we've done to present. But he's going to present his work that he's done with us, Dr. Abba.
Good morning. Or it's afternoon. I've not looked at my time. Okay. Okay, so my work is on adolescent health. It was funded by the University of Louisville. This was more or less like collaborative research, because we have this is the medical director from the Department of Pediatrics, and then this is a resident from the Department of Pediatrics, and we have a family medicine resident, and we have Engelman from Mana Masons. So together we did the research. So